Good evening, everybody. I'm here. I'm G. Cole. I'm founder and president of Pathwaves, and I'm so excited to be doing this Facebook Live. We prepared a great presentation for you tonight about the science behind neuroempowerment. And, Dr. Splaver, who is our attending physician at Pathwaves, is a doctor. So he is caught up with an emergency elsewhere. So he is not joining me tonight as we had previously planned. And last night we did a little teaser telling you how excited we were to talk about the real science behind what we do. So I'm going to press on solo here, and hopefully we can tackle this thing without Dr. Splaver, but he's always available for questions and follow-up at another time. So, go ahead, and if you have any questions, go ahead and chat them, and hopefully I will see them. We are using a platform that doesn't always show me the chats, so I'm not sure that I'll be able to see if you are chatting with me. So if I don't answer your question, don't take it personally. It isn't because I didn't want to talk to you or don't hear what you're saying or asking. It's really because I'm not seeing the question on our chat. Technology is amazing, but sometimes these days it doesn't work the way we want it to. So I'm going to jump into neuroempowerment. But first, real quick, let me just give you a little background of what we do at Pathwaves. We use technology, and it is 2020, so neurotechnology has come to a really more intensive level. And we use technology to be able to show how your nervous system affects how you feel and function. So when you come into our office, I'll be going over this in my talk. We're able to show you how you're processing, how your history has made your nervous system influence how you feel and function. And then we've created a system so that you can learn how to influence and condition your nervous system to help you function and feel the way you want. As you all know, as you practice things, it becomes automatic. Your nervous system embodies what you've been practicing. Well, we're tapping into that natural process. And so I'm going to jump into the science behind what we do every day. We're helping people change their lives. We've gotten used to having miracles. Psychologists and psychiatrists send us their hopeless cases, and we help them start having fantastic lives. So let me tell you a little bit about how that happens. So real quick, I'm going to jump into this presentation. So just give me a second. And here we go. So introducing the science of our process. So it's all about neuroplasticity, and that's the natural process of how we humans adapt. What we're really talking about is our nervous system. So our nervous system starts to form in our brains in the last trimester of the pregnancy. And through our neurotechnology, we can now start mapping how your system drives you to feel and function, starting all the way back to 3 months before you were born, and how that's developed over the years to now. And we help children and adults at all ages. We start, my youngest was really a 2-month-old baby, but the mother held the baby. And, we've had terrific results in being able to show people how, their system has organized. It says, here on the screen, the neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize. Well, it's truly our whole body and our brain's ability to develop our nervous systems so that we can adapt to our environment. And whatever we adapt to and whatever systems we create, our nervous system is going to keep doing that automatically until we can condition it to do things a little differently. So neurogenesis is the beginning of neuroplasticity. And it's how we actually make neurons. And, that process is a very interesting process where actually it happens from, before we're born until after the very end of our lives. As long as we're still able to learn things, that means we're still creating neurons and synapses, because that's how information is stored and passed in our bodies. And so in neurogenesis, we're taking cells and we're actually creating ionic channels, which allow for those cells to process electrical signals that we create. And those electrical signals pass information or processes or data within our bodies to our brain and back. What's really interesting about that process is if we're tasting like a new ice cream and we're creating neurons that are taking in that experience and we're logging that taste. And if it's a new flavor, we're actually going to have those neurons in the synapses connect and associate with that flavor. So those neurons we just created for ice cream, we can't use those neurons for going out and driving our car. So the neurons that we are creating and the electrical patterns we create and the synapses that are formed from that neurogenesis process are extremely important. So a big part of our process is to show how your system is doing that from your past and then teach you how to change that. Because when we make those neurons, it's made with a perception of who we are and how safe we are in our lives. So those ideas and how we process those ideas affect how we create all of our new neurons and how we create all of our new synapses. So, our state of mind is vital to our body's process of developing our brains and bodies to function on a daily basis. And that's all a big part of neuroplasticity. But neuroplasticity is really how our nerves are formed, how they develop, how they strengthen, how they weaken, and then how we get rid of them. And because if we don't do something or think about something for a really long time, our body will actually get rid of the neurons and nerves that are associated with whatever that is, as long as our system doesn't think it's something that's important for our survival. Survival, neurons, and synapses, we keep as long as we possibly can. So the neurofeedback process that we use is we have a computer system and we put sensors, and wherever we have the sensors, we're monitoring the electrical activity that you are creating. And we measure that to 1/1000th of a hertz. A hertz is one wave of electricity per second. And we're doing 1,000 measurements a second. And we assign a digital tone to each one of those hertz. And we play back live time the pattern that your brain is creating. So now, for the first time, your system is seeing a digital mirror of how you're functioning. And so it's kind of like if I sat here and did beep, boop, like that this arm is for beep and that arm is for boop. Well, the same thing happens for the movements that your mind is making. So if your mind is doing a calm pattern, it hears a certain tone, and it's doing a worried pattern, it hears another tone. And so it gets to hear its pattern. So if your mind is kind of walking around like this, so to speak, it notices that and it might just fix itself like that. So we use that process and within our psychological change process to help whatever you're thinking about. If you want to change your perspective or you want to be able to feel calmer, to be able to direct that neurofeedback process to help you create the nerves for let's just say calm, for a calmer you. So what we do is, as you're practicing the mindfulness techniques that we teach you to be calmer, the computer is mirroring your pattern and then showing you a 10% calmer pattern. And it shows you your pattern, the 10% calmer, your pattern, and 10% calmer, until your pattern and the 10% calmer are the same. Because your brain wants to try it out because you're directing yourself to be calmer. So now we're all moving in the same direction. So it's almost a double coaching. And then once you're the same, we'd step our side down another 10% and then show you where you are and another 10%. So then you can step down with us. And that's what we call Neurofeed Forward, which is a new process that we've created. So the way we start all this is with the Pathwaves original mind map. And this mind map allows us to see how your nervous system is affecting how you feel and function. And if it's imbalanced in certain areas of the brain, we can actually identify that you may have, performance anxiety issues or just strain anxiety, focus concentration issues, sleep issues, anger, phobias, excess worry, eating issues, self-esteem issues, physical pain, depression, anger issues. So, we help with a lot of different things because we're reviewing the main control center for the entire nervous systems of the body. And from there, we can help you improve your lives through our system. So we do that original mind mapping. We determine how you're functioning today and how your nervous system is, from your past, possibly your genetics, has caused these interferences with the way you want to live your life. And then we move into step 2, where we have a team. We've got Dr. Splaver. We have also are now adding to our staff Dr. Karen Flannery from the Palm Beach Detox and Wellness Institute for addiction. She's our addictions doctor. We have Ryan Landau and Judy Passos, who are licensed mental health counselors. Najee Lee is a board-certified life coach, and I am also becoming certified as a coach. The team works with you to figure out what your goals are, what you want to change. And we develop our path that you're going to be following. And we've got a lot of prearranged paths because a lot of people come in for similar issues. So you can choose from the paths we have, and then we start to go through that in our transformational sessions. So those sessions, we start with empowerment coaching, where this is Ryan Landau with a client, and we're teaching tools and techniques, mindfulness techniques, to be able to influence the nervous system. And you can see the computer there and the leads that are attached to the scalp, which are reading the brain waves, which are reading the electrical impulses that our minds are living within our bodies. Because we are both mind and body. We're not one or the other. So in this process, we are treating both. We're treating the mind by teaching you how you think affects how you feel. And we're treating the body because the computer is actually teaching your body to make changes in its automatic functioning to adhere to the changes you want to make in the way you want to live your life. So this DET equipment is EEG. It's computer equipment that has the sensors. DET stands for Digital Entrainment Technology. So we have a proprietary system that is unmatched in the world to help people self-entrain, to change their lives, to be able to live their lives from a higher level of function. And everything that happens with our clients is then housed in a special cloud account that our client will be able to access to see everything that's happened, all of the history of your brain waves, all the mindfulness techniques we've taught. So the lesson plans are all in the cloud library account, and the NeuroPath Quant reports, which is a numerical scaling of states of mind that we utilize so that you can really understand how you're doing and then watch as you improve on how you're doing. So we give you a frame of reference in mental functioning. Because, what is normal happiness? What is, normal anger levels? What is normal focus? Well, that doesn't really exist. So we've created a numerical scaling so you can see where you are, and then as you improve, you can watch your numbers get better. So it's a very we've simplified some very technical and complicated processes to make it easier to understand and follow. So you get actually reported results. So we don't do stuff and say, hey, let's see what happens. We're actually tracking it. we know exactly what's happening. We've done it with so many people. Most of the time, we can predict what's going to happen. So this system is not one of those things where we're just practicing. I've always laughed how I go to the doctor and he practices medicine. Don't tell Dr. Splaver I said that. So what I liked about what we do is that it's measured. We've done it for a very long time. We've had over 60,000 brain maps, and we've got a growing database of how all of our techniques affect people and help people improve their lives. So we're not just guessing here. We're providing a system of improvement and change that works over and over and over again. So each person gets a report that shows their personal improvement. Hopefully you can see it on the bottom of the screen. So in areas like sleep, depression, anxiety, anger, memory, because we help improve memory functioning, focus, confidence, and addictions, if it applies. Now, a lot of us have addictive behaviors that we, don't really want to talk about. So it also helps with, obsessions and those kinds of things. And we put all those into the addictive behavior category. So here's one of my favorite slides. Based on the actual neurological and self-survey data, these are all numbers, over 95% of our clients enjoy positive improvements. And the average improvements at this point stand at anxiety improvements are on average for all of our clients that have went through this, 42%. The average improvement in their mood, even if they weren't depressed, they're leaving our program 42% happier. Yes. Anger issues are dropping, which is, as we get more and more clients, I think you're going to see that the road rage on the Miami roads gets a lot better. Self-esteem improves, focus and ADD and ADHD improves, and memory, physical improvement, sleep improvement, and we've got great results with addiction. So, all right, so that is hopefully that helped people understand a little bit more scientifically about what we do. And I'm returning to the StreamYard to stop the share. Hopefully I've done that. And so I just found out the presentation wasn't showing. So I guess we're not going to have the presentation tonight, but you heard what I said. Hopefully that was a good description of the science behind it without the presentation. So I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Hopefully this was enlightening for some, and if not, we'll do it again soon. So thank you for tuning in. We'll have a good night.